My sweet and lovely Leos, this is your horoscope for February 2025. And in February, will make you focus on your finances. Seems like most likely focusing on your partner's finances, like your wife or husband. And if you don't have them, then it might be your scholarship, or it might be you're focusing on bank loan or your investments also. Now, February will begin with Jupiter going direct on 4th of February in your 11th house, house of friends and house of future, house of internet. And seems like, Jupiter is a planet of happiness and luck, and it was retrograding, meaning slowing down, and it was sort of not so much of a help. But even when Jupiter retrogrades, it doesn't mean that it stopped blessing us with its gifts. It just might be delayed. So in your case, it was your house of gathering, harvesting the results for whatever you've been doing for your work. If you've been waiting long enough for the results to come out of that work that you've been putting effort in, then when Jupiter moves direct after 4th of February, you might see the results finally. Like those results might be in terms of like achievement or nomination or even title, or it might be sort of big sales, for example. Now, 11th house, a house of friendships. Now, while Jupiter was retrograde, you might have seen a couple of your old friends, for example, from your previous period of life, as an example. Now, but when it's now going direct, you might finally start seeing new friends, or you might become a part of a new social group. Like, I don't know, you might start going to new gym, for example, and there you will meet some group of people with the same mindset. As an example, it can be different things, or because of work, like you're joining language club, for example, and you might meet new friends there. Jupiter rules your house of joy, house of business. And in some case for you guys, it might be if you've been planning to build a business with your friends, uh, and you've been working like towards this goal, after 4th of February, you might finally, let's say, establish that business with your friends. Or if you have kids, and even if you don't have, then it's about planning kids. And if you have them, then if you've been, let's say, thinking to change a kindergarten or school, or to take them somewhere, for example, Disneyland, for a long time, and you've been planning it, now those things will be achievable more easier, my dear Leos, for you. 11th house is also house of online and internet. And if you've been planning to open your business online, or to transfer your business like to social media, that will you will finally make sort of real steps towards this goal only after February 4th, when Jupiter goes direct. Finally will physically transfer your business to online world, for example. This is as an example. Or to open a social page like TikTok account, YouTube channel, whatever you will be doing, it will be happening after February 4th. Now, February 12th, we have full moon in your first house. Now, this full moon will be electrifying one, shocking one. Now, those of you who are born 16th of August will feel this full moon the most, plus or minus 5 days, because this full moon is hitting 24 degrees of your sign. Now, this full moon will be shocking because Uranus will make almost an exact aspect to that full moon, harsh aspect, from your house of career. And seems like you might be ending your career. It might be your decision, either shocking everyone, either like you might get fired, and will be quite hard shock to you, as an example. Could be both ways, depending on your natal chart. Or you might completely change what you want to do in life with this full moon. You might decide, and circumstances will make you decide abruptly to quickly change who you want to be, like in the upcoming future, what kind of career you want to build, like to shock off others and yourself too. Now, Uranus rules your house of partnerships. like signing contracts where we sign deals, and you might be actually breaking the deal here somehow, within your work or with your clients. For example, if you work in a client-based environment, business. Or it might be if you say that at work everything is fine and my career I'm not planning to change, even though there will be surprises and bumps, then it might be related to your social status, my dear Leos. Meaning you might decide to get divorced here, or you might decide to get married, vice versa. And this will happen all like in a split second, like these decisions, because of some sort of, there might be a situation where you will need to quickly decide either this, either that, and you won't have time to think here, my dear Leos. Seems like making surprising moves here within your relationship also, and within your marriage. It could be both ways. And for some of you, it might be shocking news of pregnancy also. And like that you are becoming parent. And it seems like that news won't be so much welcome from your side. Might be either about business relationship, or this full moon might challenge your marriage, as I said, my dear Leos. February 23rd is another big day, because February 23rd we have aspect which is happening once in a lifetime. And last time this aspect happened only back in 16th century. Can you imagine? So in our lifetime we will never again encounter this aspect. That's why February 23rd will be big. But anyhow, from the beginning of February until March, you will feel this aspect already, like most intensely will be, of course, on 23rd of February, but whole 2 months this aspect is active. Neptune, planet of magic, imagination, inspiration, uniting forces with your North Node in your house of finances, my dear Leos. Now, Neptune is planet of magic, and North Node is your destiny, where you headed. And it's uniting forces in your money house. Amazing opportunity here. You might hit the jackpot, my dear Leos, but I don't advise you to gamble here. It's not a gamble time, definitely. But investments, like you might see amazing opportunity to invest into something, or you might see great results from your investments. Like you might instantly become rich. As an example, Neptune, rules oceans. Neptune is a planet like an ocean, like there is no end to it, and endless, boundaryless, and it's in your money house. Seems like you might see sort of this kind of money where there is no end. For example, returns from your investment. If you've invested, like let's say before, you might see great results here around end of February, with which I congratulate you. That will change the course of your destiny, my dear Leos. It has also house of banks, bank loans, taxes. You might here again seize an opportunity related to your taxes or related to bank money, especially if you paying a debt, let's say a loan, and you might have an opportunity here to change, let's say, I don't know, some things like requirements of that loan, or change the plan, or I don't know, to change the interest rate, for example. Something will be lucky here to you. Now, 8th house is also house of conception, like a baby house. If that was your wish, and Neptune is planet of magic, planet, and it's everything inspirational. So by the end of February, if that was your wish, you will have a chance to get pregnant, my dear Leos. You might hear amazing news around this pregnancy thing, conception journey, especially if we're trying IVF and all this non-traditional way. Even though Mars will be still retrograding and going direct next day, luckily, Neptune is, planet make it happen sort of planet, because it's a magic planet, and you will have a chance from your destiny to get pregnant if that was your wish. So aim your sort of all the procedures related to pregnancy to 23rd of February, or even later date, my dears. Now, also, Neptune is planet of unconditional love, and here you might meet someone special too that will boost your also financial situation. Now, also, eighth house in general, house of crisis, sort of critical situations. For example, surgeries, or if you have such a situation in your life, which is like crisis happening, or something is going wrong, this Neptune uniting forces with North Node might help you to overcome that magically. So easy, something will turn out to be good, and some crisis might finish finally in your life. As an example, eighth house is also a house of other people's money, I said, and inheritance is here. You might receive an inheritance, once in a lifetime inheritance. Maybe it might be a huge house or huge land, some sort of this kind of inheritance might be on the table. Or you might receive funding for your, I don't know, business, for your education as a scholarship. And Neptune will make you here extra happy, my dear Leos. Next day, as I said, Mars goes direct, 24th of February, finally, going direct after sleeping 2.5 months in your 12th house. Now, 12th house is about rest itself, it's about private things, it's about behind the doors. And also spiritual house. You might have been busy getting to know yourself, to work with your wounds, with your traumas. Like you might have been busy since the beginning of 2025, like by going to therapists, like psychological therapies, whatever therapies, or reading a lot about spirituality, like digging yourself, because 12th house is about, very buried self, let's say, very deep down. And with whatever sort of methods you were doing that, no matter maybe it's a psychology or astrology or numerology, like getting to know yourself and your subconscious mind was happening here. And it will still be happening because Mars will be moving direct in your 12th house, but you will do it with much even more energy and more activity. More things will be coming in your life related to that spirituality up until end of April, because Mars will stay in your 12th house until April, unusually long time. Now, Mars will finally go direct in your 12th house, and you might start seeing results from those therapies, or you might start feeling yourself better, like healing and healing your wounds, for example, or some therapies. And in general, when I said Neptune, this conjunct North Node in your eighth house is also house of health and surgeries. And Mars is in your 12th house, is also house of surgery. If you have this kind of situation related to your health, or you've been hoping that your surgery goes well, don't worry around this time. And if that surgery is, targeted exactly around this date, end of February, heaven will help you. Universe is helping you. It's on your side, sort of like a guarding angel as Neptune and Mars. They will help you to overcome that surgery. And those things might go very well, my dear Leos. Don't worry around that time. Now, Mars in your 12th house again. Mars, rule indicates everything sharp, including surgical knives, and it's in your 12th house, house of hospitals, also surgeries, healing house. So you might, by the end of February, undergo some surgeries too, and most probably somewhere very far. Or when you travel somewhere, take extra caution, take care, because there is a indication you might get such a situation when you will need an emergency surgery, for example, because Mars rules your ninth house naturally, actually, in your natal chart. So ninth house is everything somewhere far, somewhere foreign, or some foreign doctor or specialist that you can, like invited specialist might do that surgery to you. Now, 12th house is also house of everything past. And since the beginning of 2025, you might have been busy finishing up some things, some projects that are like, already sort of long story from past, or digging a lot of information around your family tree, for example, or some going to some archives, like because of some papers, could be also. 12th house is also a house of isolated things like islands, hospitals, and also prisons. You might be visiting someone in the prison, not necessarily going to prison, which is also not exclusionary. Now, Mars rules your ninth house. You might actually travel by the end of February. The most favorable, right, outcome of this Mars in your 12th house, you might travel far by the end of February, and you might crazy enjoy this travel actually. In some cases, for religious, I don't know, motivations like really visiting religious places or some power places, sacred places. I don't know. In some cases, it might be just because like you want to see and experience another culture, another city, another country, or traveling to Antarctica because 12th house is a house far north. You know, far lands, far north. Like what is in our far north is Antarctica, so it might be that too. Sort of, and also it's hotels 12th house. You might be spending quite a lot of time by the end of February in hotel, as an example. Now, new moon on 28th of February, we have again in your 8th house. Now, you see this, your financial house is, there's a huge emphasis on that, and new moon is new energy. Now, those of you who are born 1st of August, plus or minus 5 days, will be affected the most because it's hitting your 9th degree of your 8th house. Now, new moon in your 8th house suggests new baby. Conception there. You see, if you've been trying, as I said, by the February 23rd, this when Neptune conjuncts your destiny in your 8th house, you might get good results by the end of February, and your doctor or specialist might congratulate you with pregnancy if that was your desire. And Neptune here exactly gives that desire. So use this end of February, my dear Leos. You might get pregnant. You might get lucky, especially if that was your sort of painful topic, right? And even if like if it's traditional way, also there is a chance to get pregnant. My dear Leos, you might get this news that you are expecting a baby, or actually giving birth a baby by the end of February. Now, this new moon is like a very positive one, mostly, even though Jupiter is sending harsh beam to that new moon from your house of dreams and wishes. And still, like, you know, this is opportunity also beam there. Seems like whatever will be happening, you either wished for a long time, either something will be like, let's say, stuck in your future plan that you didn't want, but you will welcome at the end. And Jupiter rules babies in your natal chart. It's a house of children, 5th house Jupiter. Now, this is strong, there is strong emphasis on babies, on conception, on pregnancy. So you see, end of February, if you don't want these things materialize, take precaution. If you want, then this is your time to do all those procedures that needed in your particular case to get pregnant and to have a baby, as an example. And if you're already pregnant, then this will be the time when you might give birth actually. Now, 8th house is also a house of money. As I said, money will be on your mind, and especially your partner's money. Like your partner might get a new job offer, for example, that will double their salary. Again, as an example, or like your partner's sort of this money situation might change. In some cases, your partner might decide to leave the job, for example, which you won't like to happen, which you will not be your wish, but that could be this kind of situation. That would be decision of your partner, like your husband or wife, or with whom you're a long-term relationship and with whom you have family budget, like shared money, my dear Leos. Some of you, it might be about bank loans and taxes, and here take extra care because seems like you might owe some money to the bank, maybe because you're not paying back on time, or because any other situation, for example, because of your friend. There might be a friend involved in that situation with money. and it won't be a pleasant one. Seems like either you will end up owing some money to that friend, or that friend might be ending up owing to you money, but won't be so fast in returning them. So, not to borrow money around the end of February, my dear Leos. Now, eighth house is also a house of investments and inheritance. Here, it's a new energy. You might inherit something which might be quite of a surprise, but in some cases, sort of you won't need it. You might say no to that inheritance or investment. Again, this won't be a great new moon to invest money. By the end of February won't be a nice time to invest into in anything, because most likely it won't give nice returns in the future. And also, as I said about babies and money, it might be that your situation will require some extra money to your kids' passion. Like, for example, your daughter or son wants to go to dancing classes, extra classes that needs to get paid, right? That needs money, that will require money. So you might actually, around this new moon, have a new cost, like so that your child goes to these extra classes, as an example, or anything else, like they want to visit Disneyland or something, which will require from you money, my dear Leos. This was your horoscope for February. Stay positive and always check your rising sign, because that's the most influential, and also check your moon sign, because in my case my moon sign is very strong. I always check that. Now check all three: sun sign, moon sign, and rising sign, so to get the complete picture, because in my case all three, they bring situations in my life. Love you all. Bye bye.